Good morning, students. Good morning to all. Last day we have studied about the cooperative organizations. And in these cooperative organizations, we have studied the features of the cooperative organizations and the advantages of the cooperative organizations. And you got the study portions also as the same only. So today also just we will remind about what we have studied on last day, and we will go to the new concept. So last day we have studied the advantages of cooperatives. So what are the advantages are there in these cooperative organizations means? First one is the voluntary organizations. So in these cooperative organizations, the membership of a cooperative society is open to all. If any of the persons want to begin as a membership, they can easily organize and they can easily join as themselves. And if they want to leave from the organizations also, it is very easy. The membership fee is kept low so that everyone would be able to join and benefit from the cooperative societies. At the same time, any member who wants to leave the society is free to do so. There are no entry or exit barriers in this cooperative organization. Next, easy formation. So the cooperatives can be formed much very easily when compared to a company. Any 25 members who have attained a majority can join together and forming a cooperative organizations. There is no more legal barriers. Next, democracy. A cooperative society is run on the principle of one man, one vote. Even if the people has more shares, he has the only one vote. But in these joint stock companies, on the basis of the amount of shares only, he will get the power to vote. But here not like that. So every on the basis of the democracy, all the members can have the only one vote, even if they have more shares. Next, equal distribution of surplus. So whenever the profit is increased or raised among the cooperative organizations, the surplus amount will going to share by equally to all members. Next, limited liability. So the liability of the members in a cooperative society is limited to the extent of their capital contributions. When the time of establishing the cooperative organizations, how much amount of capital is invested, so on the basis of investing the capital amount only, the limited liabilities will be there. So all the members no need to worry about the responsibilities. Next is separate legal entity. So the cooperative society enjoys separate legal entity, which is distinct from its members. Therefore, its continuance is no way affected by the death, insanity, or any of the lunacy. If any of the problem will never affect the existing of the cooperative organizations. Next, greater identity of interest. So, the cooperative organizations operates in a limited geographical area and there is greater identity of interest among members. So the members would be interacting with each other. They can cooperate and manage the activities of the society in a more effective manner. Next, government support. So for establishing the cooperative organizations, the state government and the central government also will be support to improve the cooperative organizations. Next, elimination of middleman. So normally the middleman only will be as the cause of increasing the price of commodities. But here cooperative societies can deal directly with the producers and the ultimate consumers. So there is no need to making the middleman. So when there is no middleman or absence of middleman, so the price for the commodities always will be as a reasonable. Next, tax concession. To promote the cooperative movement, so the government also provide the tax concession. So what are the product is produced in the government cooperative organizations? the tax will be very low, or sometimes there is no tax if any of the product is produced on the cooperative organizations, or if any of the commodity is going to sell in the cooperative organization, that commodities will have no tax. Next, rural credit. So the cooperative societies have contributed significantly in freeing villages from money lenders. So the rural credit also will be encouraged by the way of cooperative organizations. So many of the farmers are going to relieve from the local money lenders for high rate of interest. Okay, students, some 12 advantages are there in these cooperative organizations. So today, next we will go to study the disadvantages of cooperatives. Even though if there is more advantages in these cooperative organizations, some of the disadvantages also will be there in these cooperative organizations. So what are the disadvantages? First one is limited funds. So the cooperative societies have limited membership and they are promoted by the weaker section. So normally those who want to establish the cooperative organizations mean the poor peoples or the weaker sections of the peoples in the societies, or the farmers only will want to start at the cooperative organization. So the members will never make more capitals. So they can have the ability to make the limited funds only. So the membership fees collected is very low also. So therefore the funds available with the cooperatives are very limited. The principle of one man, one vote and limited dividends also reduce the enthusiasm of members. Suppose if the peoples are having more power in these cooperative organizations, we have some of the opportunity to increasing the members. But here one of the objectives of one man, one vote. So the man will never get more dividends. And because of that, so more people will never want to interested to join as a membership. So they cannot expand their activities beyond a particular level because of the limited financial resources. So when we have the limited financial resources, the cooperative organizations cannot be improved or expand their activities. Next, over reliance on government funds. Over reliance means over depending. So the government or the cooperative organizations must be depending on the government funds for their improvement. So the cooperative societies are not able to raise their own resources. Their sources of financing are limited and they depend on government funds. Because by the way of low members or the limited members, they cannot able to make more funds. When they don't have the more funds, they can expand their business activities. So these cooperative organizations always depending upon the government funds. So the government funds also will be changed on the basis of the political situations. The funding and the amount of funds that would be released by the government are uncertainties. Because whenever the profit is earning by the government, for that only the government will providing the finance. Next, imposed by government. So in the Western countries, cooperative societies were voluntarily started by the weaker sections. The objective is improve their economic status and to protect themselves from exploitations by the businessmen. So if we are predicting that we are exploiting from the middleman and the businessman, so some of the peoples have to join and create the cooperative organizations. But in India, the cooperative movement was initiated and established by the government. So wide participation of people is lacking. Therefore, the benefit of the cooperative has still not reached many poorer sections. Because some of the cooperative organizations are imposed and established by the government only, even if the poor peoples are not able to join as a members or not having the interest to joining as a members. So there is no chance to widespreading the advantages of the cooperative organizations among the poorest peoples. Next, benefit to rural rich. So the cooperative has benefited the rural rich and not the rural poor. But if you are considering any of the organizations, these organizations will create the two side of the peoples or two sections of the peoples, the rich peoples and the poor peoples. But so many of the cooperative organizations are established in this poor rural side only. Even in this rural side, the rich people only will have more shares and will have more power to dominating the poor peoples. The rich people elect themselves to the managing committee and manage the affairs of cooperative for their own benefit. If any of the rural rich became as a leader or the chairman of the cooperative organizations, this rich man will change the total activity of the cooperative organization. The agricultural produce of the small farmer is just sufficient to fulfill the needs of their family only. They do not have any surplus to the market. The rich farmers with vast tracts of land produce in surplus quantities, and the services of cooperatives such as processing, grading, correct weighment, and fair prices actually benefit them. So when we are producing any of the commodities as a huge level, only we will get some of the benefit. But in this rural area, the rural rich man only will have the chance to having more land, and when they produce more commodities in this land, they will get more benefit from the cooperative organizations. Other, we can say, the other poor peoples will not get any of the advantages. Next, inadequate rural credit. So the cooperative societies give loans only for productive purposes and not for personal or family expenses. The cooperative organizations producing or providing the financial assistance only for the productive purposes. When they are borrow the money, when they are lending the money only for the productive purposes, they can't be able to improve their personal or family expenses. Therefore, the rural poor continue to depend on the money lenders for meeting expenses or marriage, medical care, social commitments, etc. So, for the productive purposes only, if the farmers are borrowing money from the capital organizations and for their personal expenses, if they are depending upon the local money lender, he will fix more rate of interest. So automatically they are going to fall in the poverty. So the cooperatives have not been successful in freeing the rural poor from the clutches of the money lenders. So even the cooperative organizations are existing in any of the rural, the poor people will be in the catches of the local money lenders. Next, lack of managerial skill. The cooperative societies are managed by the managing committee elected by its members. The members of the managing committee may not have the required qualifications, skill, or experience. So normally in this rural area, some of the persons will become as a chairman, those who has the more money. But even if they don't have the sufficient of the skill and the educational qualifications, so when they are doing like so, when the persons are being as a chairman, so the managerial skills will be sought, or the managerial skill will never bring the development in the cooperative organizations. Since it has limited financial resources, its ability to compensate its employees is also limited. So therefore, the managerial skills will be affected, and because of that, the development of the cooperative organizations also will be as impossible things. So lack of managerial skills result in insufficient management, poor functioning, and difficulty in achieving objectives. When they don't have the good managerial skill, they will never focus on the objectives of the cooperative organizations. So they will never achieving the objectives of cooperative organization because of lack of managerial skill. Next, the government intervention. So the cooperative societies are subject to excessive government regulations which affect their autonomy and flexibility. So normally when the cooperative organizations are depending on the government, so the government interventions always will be more. So the autonomy power and the flexibilities also will be affected. So adhering to various regulations takes up much of the management time and effort. Next, misuse of fund. How the funds are going to misuse in these cooperative organizations means, if the members of the managing committees are corrupt, they can swindle the funds of the cooperative societies. As like bad political or bad politicians, if the members of the managing committees also the corrupt, they will spoil the objectives of cooperative societies. They will corrupt the funds of the cooperative societies. So many cooperative societies have faced the financial trouble and closed down because of the corruption and misuse of funds. So normally before the 10 years and the 20 years, many cooperative organizations was there. But due to the corruption and the misuse of funds only, every cooperative organization was closed down. Next, inefficiencies leading to losses. So cooperative societies operate with limited financial resources. Therefore, they cannot recruit the best talented and acquired persons. So the cooperative organizations also will not provide more remunerations or more salary for their labors. So the cooperative organizations want to recruit the best or the talented persons. They have to provide more salaries, but it is not possible in this cooperative organization. So that operate the cooperative organizations will facing the loss because of the inefficiencies. Next, lack of secrecy. So the maintenance of business secrets is the key for the competitiveness of any business organizations. If you want to improve our business organizations, the secret about the business activities is very much important. But the business secrets cannot be maintained in the cooperative because of the members are aware of the activities of the enterprises. Some of the members will be depending upon the politicians and simply they can become as a membership to earning the money only. So because of that, the secrets of the cooperative organizations will not be as maintained as a secretly. Further, reports and accounts have to be submitted to the Register of Cooperative Societies. But normally, so many of the cooperative organizations are not submitted there, registered in the correct scales. Therefore, the information relating to activities, revenues, members, etc. becomes public knowledge. So the lack of secrecy also is one of the disadvantages in the cooperative organization. Next, conflicts among members. The cooperative societies are based on the principles of cooperation and therefore harmony among members is important. But in practice, there might be internal politics, differences of opinions, quarrels, etc. When the conflicts among the members are existing in these cooperative organizations, within the short period, the cooperative organizations must be fell down in the loss. So which may lead to disputes. Such disputes affect the functioning of the cooperative organizations. So normally if any of the members are not having the good mind or good mutually understanding, so the cooperative organizations will be spoiled. So next, the limited scope. The cooperative societies cannot be introduced in all industries. Their scope is limited to only certain areas of enterprises. Normally, the cooperative organization is very much suitable to produce the agricultural commodities or agro-based industries only. Since the funds available are limited, they cannot undertake large-scale operations, and it is not suitable in industries requiring large investment. Because already we have studied, if you want to establish any of the large scale industries, the more financial funds is required. But here there is no chance to creating the no more funds. So their scope always will be as very limited. And some of the product only can be produced by the help of the cooperative organizations. So today we have studied the disadvantages of cooperatives. So here also the 12 points are there, and you can take the same things as your study portions. Okay student, thank you. If you have any doubt, please ask me.